Hello, my beautiful, beautiful Daily 10 family. I'm so excited that you made it here. I don't want to talk to you for too long. Today, we're going to be working on internal and external rotation of the pelvis and really working on the flexibility there, as well as building strength, building capacity at those end ranges. We only have 10 minutes. These are our exercises. Let's just get into it. We're going to begin today passively, and then we'll build into the intensity of this session. So I really want you to focus on just really coming into the breath, really letting go initially. Okay, so come into a child's pose position, bring the toes together, knees are out nice and wide, and just take your body forward and let your head rest down. I really want your forehead to rest on the floor, and if it's not comfortable for you to do so, you can stack your hands and rest it like this. Take a deep breath in and release a full breath out. These first few breaths are just about letting your mind come to slowly focus on the breath. As we come into stillness, often that's when the mind gets even busier, which is often why we resist stillness. So I want you to just allow those thoughts. There's no judgment. It's just noticing the tendency maybe to ruminate, noticing that they're maybe increasing in frequency, and then just gently guiding your awareness and your thought back to the sound and feeling of the breath. And when we move into passive stretches today, we are going to rely heavily on our ability to exhale and let go. But being a strengthen and lengthen session, we're going to be doing a mix of both. Okay, so let's start with our first position. This is going to be similar to a frog. So what I want you to do is keep the feet together, just bring your hips forward now. So rather than child's pose where your hips are kind of on top of your heels, you open the legs wider and move forward. And then from there, we're going to find the best stretch we can for our inner thighs. Now, some of you are going to be up here, and that's okay. But if you are up here, just try to move your hands into a position where you can take some of the weight off, and with every exhalation that we hold here, I want you to think about maybe starting to get those knees wider, starting to let the hips sink down. If you're down on the floor like this, you can find the different angles that work for you. Tipping your pelvis forward into an anterior pelvic tilt is going to really help with that. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe see if you can start to get your chest towards the floor. Inhale. And exhale. All right, use your hands to push yourself back up and place your hands kind of underneath your hips so that you can lift yourself out of it, bringing the legs back in together. Okay, we're gonna move into a pigeon variation. So what I want you to do is just take your knees hip distance apart, turn out the right leg, and then push back into pigeon, or come into pigeon however you want actually, but it's a nice little transition. So keeping your hips kind of square here, really make sure that they stay square. Come up to the fingertips first, take a deep breath in, and then exhale, start to move down. You're staying on the fingertips to begin with. Inhale up, and exhale down. Inhale up, and exhale down. Inhale up, and then exhale, we're gonna come down, and I want you to adjust. Take that back leg a little bit further back. Bring the forearms down to the floor, forehead down, find the depth, find the edge here of your glute and just pelvic flexibility. And for those of you that are feeling it a little bit in the knee, I'm gonna offer you something different to do, so come with me. If you're feeling your pigeon variation in the knee, you're gonna take 90-90 for now until we can get those hips to open up enough so that the torque is not on the knee. Usually the knee is like sort of compensating for a tightness in the hip. So 90-90, 90 degrees with the front leg, 90 degrees with the back leg. My pigeon poses, you guys are still holding your pigeon and you're relaxing with each exhalation. If you're doing the 90-90 variation, go as far as you can until your knee starts to feel it and then back off slightly, okay? So we're in this passive hold. We're gonna take one more deep breath in here and a full breath out. If you're in 90-90, just work on holding that passive stretch. For those of you in Pigeon, I want you to drive up. So an active Pigeon here, come back down and then drive up using the strength of your glute to push you out of this position from that stretched position. Inhale down and exhale up. Inhale down and exhale up. One more time. This time, take the arms out and wide. Try to almost go into a little bit of a back bend so we get a nice big stretch for the front of the hip. And then hands come down to the floor. Pull yourself forward. 90-90 people come out of the stretch and then we'll change sides. So left leg moving back into our stretch position here. Oh, this left side, so juicy. Okay, so the first one is supported. Yep, we stay on the fingertips. Big inhale in, exhale down. And I want you to just get quite fluid with the spine here as much as you can. Coming down, coming up. Inhale down and exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up, and then finding that edge of your flexibility. Sinking down, softening, relaxing the shoulders. With every exhalation, see if you can start to soften down that little bit more. And if you're lacking intensity here, if you're really not feeling much of a stretch, you can bring that left foot further forward. But just notice again, if you start to bring that left foot forward and you let the front foot sickle like this, you will start to feel over time, not always immediately, a little bit again of that torque in the knee. So what we want to do is keep the toes sort of pulling back, and it keeps that anterior tibialis really active so that the knee doesn't take the stretch and it stays in the hip. So we kind of like lock the movement in one joint so that the other joint really stretches here. Okay, let's come out of whatever variation you're in. Hands come off. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down and exhale up. Hold arms up, reach. It kind of feels like kind of religious. And then hands come down. Bring the legs back in and we'll just come into like a nice closed child's pose here. Bring the arms by your side and tuck the head in. Slowly unroll. Take the hands behind you, bring the legs out in front. Feet are gonna be kind of like bigger than shoulder distance apart here. Or maybe just in between shoulder and hip. So we're going to drop the legs in like this, but we're gonna do one leg at a time. And the key thing here is that you keep your pelvis planted. The temptation will be to do this. Okay, and to let that, when you drop the right knee in, that right buttocks will want to come off the floor. But what I need you to do is keep the hip down. And then from there, I'm going to grab my dumbbell, if that's what we're working with, something slightly stronger. If you have a leg weight, like the ones that you wrap around, like similar to the ones that we had in the 80s, they're definitely really beneficial, those ankle weights. I'm just using a dumbbell for this. I'm going to use it to help me get a little bit deeper. But now that we've been holding this at depth, I'm then going to keep the dumbbell on there. I'm not lifting the dumbbell with my hand, just holding it in place, and I'm gonna start to contract against that dumbbell. So I'm gonna contract against that dumbbell, hold, 2, 1, and then relax. And it's crazy how much the body gives. And then I'm gonna lift, and then I'm gonna relax. And then I'm gonna release. Internal rotation, the position that we all love to hate and forget about. Other side. So that first part, and by the way, like if you are feeling this at the front of the knee, then again, you know that the knee is taking it because the hip probably doesn't have that range. So do not progress to the weighted version. Just start to work with getting your body to trust this position. Notice I'm trying to move back a little bit, and that's because it reduces the internal rotation sensation. So I'm gonna try and keep my pelvis on the ground and keep my hips upright, kind of tipping forward. Push away, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. Whew. Push away, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. Oh, so good. Release. And slowly let go. Okay, we have one more exercise to go. So take the legs out into a pancake position. Nice and wide as you feel like you can. We're gonna sit up as wide as we can. Now for some of you, you're gonna find that if you try and do this on the floor that you end up like this. So just sit on a cushion. I'll show you. Once you raise the hips, it makes it a lot easier to get that little bit of extra range so that your pelvis can tip forward, okay? So find that position first. I'm not gonna use this. You can also sit on the edge of a chair as well if you're feeling particularly tight with this. And all we're gonna do is walk forward and then hands off and drive back. Hands down, walk forward, drive back. Walk forward, building that strength to push us out of that pancake position and drive back. Walk forward, this one we're gonna hold, head goes down. Inhaling and exhaling. I'm working with a tear on the left side of my adductor, and I'm just building back that trust in that area. It's an old tear, but it's just, I can feel my body trying to protect it. And that can sometimes happen is that we have these injuries, and so we try to avoid moving into the space where we feel them even triggered a little bit. And that's what then starts to create more problems with our range, more problems with our strength in that area. So if you do have a past injury, we don't want to cultivate more fear around it as much as that will exist and will be there. We want to see if we can start to play very lightly, very delicately with the range and testing the strength of that area. And so from here, now that we've been in that passive hold, I'm going to point my toes, I'm going to keep my legs really active, and I'm just going to hold, coming up slowly, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the legs in, you can kind of shake them out about. That is our external and internal rotation 10-minute session done. Well done. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to check out not just the other videos on this channel, but actually the playlists, because I spent a lot of time actually just programming the way these workouts work, and I filter them into different categories that are mostly goal directed. So we have an ab category, of course. We have a stronger legs, stronger runs program, like a mini program where you can really focus on building your joint strength, your flexibility, as well as the stability to make sure that your runs are strong and that you recover from them and that you support your hips to just keep on running. Listen, I don't need to list all the playlists. You just need to go have a look at them because they will change the way that you approach your training, particularly if you're training at home, particularly if you're time poor, which it's highly likely that you are because that's how you landed on this video. For those of you that have very, very specific goals in mind, you have to head to my website and take the quiz there so that I can help you to find a program that is right for you, for your time capacity, the location you train, and of course, like the specific goals that you have. That's it for me. I'm so stoked that we got to stretch together, and I will see you on the mat again soon.